Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on Random Review Squad. Today we'll be looking at a brand new phone that was just released in January, the VIVO V23 5G. Now, this phone is something for the people who are looking at the budget section. It costs about $650 to about $700 SGD, and you can probably buy it on Lazada, Shopee, or even Vivo's walk-in store. It comes in two colorways, Sunshine Gold and Stardust Black. It runs Android 12 of course, and of course their own OS, which is FunTouch 12. Now, the special thing about this phone is the back of the phone, where you can see that if I use a UV torch, I can actually change the color of the back of the phone. Now, I mean, we won't be using this every day and we won't be really, utilizing it, but it's actually cool to see how far technology has come in terms of materials and design of a phone. So that's really cool. Now let's look at the OS itself, FunTouch 12. Now of course this phone comes with an in-display fingerprint sensor, and it's really fast, worked really smoothly for me. And once you log in, or once you go past the fingerprint sensor, you actually make way for a beautiful UI from FunTouch 12. It's like a mix between Xiaomi, Google stock UI, and also One UI. And if you're someone who's very into using widgets, this UI is definitely something you can consider. Now, in terms of content consumption, it's not exactly the best, of course, because the screen is not exactly the best. You don't actually have the best loudspeakers and all that. This is a budget phone, but for the price, I think it's really good. It reproduces most of the colors well, and it really sounds loud enough in a regular room. Now let's talk about the specs of this phone. The screen is a 90Hz AMOLED HDR10 Plus display. That's of course 1080p in resolution. And of course we all want to know about the camera itself. The camera has a 64 megapixel main wide angle lens, and then it's got an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and a 2 megapixel macro lens. As you can see here, I took some photos of some selfies while I was in Kuala Lumpur. Of course, video is 4K at 30 FPS and 1080p at 30 FPS, and it's got a electronic image stabilization. Now, if you look at the selfie camera itself, it has a 50 megapixel wide angle lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. It's 105 degrees ultra wide angle lens, and it's got something cool here, which is a dual LED dual tone flash, which basically means that if you're taking selfies in the dark, you turn on flash, you've got a really bright and good flash. Of course, the video is also at 4K 30 FPS and 1080p 30 FPS. I did take a sample for you guys to see. This is me taking video of KL. Now, as you can see, the colors are a little bit saturated and the contrast is a little bit low. Stabilization is decent. I was keeping myself as steady as possible. So yeah, if you're someone who's just in the market to, take simple photos and simple videos quickly, then this is something you can look at. Now, on to the other specs. In terms of battery life, it's 4200 milliamp per hour. Lasts the entire day, no problem at all. And of course, it comes in two variants in terms of the RAM and the storage. It comes as a 8 gig RAM with 128 gigs of storage, and also a 12 gig RAM with 250 gigs of storage. I would say the 12 gig RAM with 250 gigs of storage is rather sufficient to last about 2 to 3 years for you before you change your phone and before the phone actually runs out of software support in that sense. That's it. This is the VIVO V23 5G. If you guys are in the market for an affordable budget smartphone that does most of the things up to standard, then I would say this is something you can look at. I'm Thiru, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.